Come on. Oh, latency shit. Yeah, because I need to finish the first. Can't end it.
In my personal opinion, he won this fight. Look, that changed everything. Look,
agreed.
Yeah, it turned the tide of the fight. It turned the tide of the fight.
For that first fight in particular, I really enjoyed it. Like you said, it was a tone setter for Leong and like his presence in the story as Mai Ling's main enforcer.
We have breaking news.
This just in.
Sometimes when I do the news, I don't wear any pants.
What's good, Chronicle family? Steve Quasi in the building. Happy Friday. What is the deal, people? All right. Yeah, it's been a long time, right? Shouldn't have left you. We are going live. It's been a minute. I know. Welcome to everybody that's in the building. Appreciate you all checking in tonight. Got a lot of things to talk about today because we've got so much happening with the channel and just new stuff coming up, as well as wanted to take a minute or two to just talk a little martial arts news. And we are talking specifically Warrior tonight. Okay, the series Warrior, you guys know I love the series. I literally this is the show that I talk so much about. You guys have heard me before, but new subscribers in the building. Want to thank you all for jumping on. Appreciate you all. Going to give this a little bit of time for some people to get on here. In the meantime, though, I do want to talk to you guys not only about Warrior, because I'm going to have my friends in the martial arts scene, Lone Wolf and Cub from the Lone Wolf and Cub Kung Fu channel, coming to ride with us tonight. So I'm excited about that. But I also want to let you, again, I said, welcome to all my new subscribers. Had a big bump in subscribers over the last couple of weeks. We did an interview with Michael Jai White, and apparently y'all love that. The new movie Trouble Man is out, so you guys can tell me below in the comments if you're digging it. If you're not digging it, whatever. Movie's out though, so y'all can check it out at your leisure. All right. Also, a couple things of note. Dr. Carl Totten, unfortunately, has passed away. So I did want to give him his props, some respect to the man that has done so much for the Kung Fu world, martial arts, but also specifically the Kung Fu world. I actually had the opportunity to speak with him. Man, this was probably 2022. So I want to say like 3 years ago. And just a wonderful discussion. Wonderful man, very well learned man. Dr. Carl Totten is a Sijo. He created his own system, martial arts and self-defense system called the Core System. So I want to give him his love. And actually, I'm going to pop this.
The form done with the unification of mind, body, breath, and intent create something beyond just the movement that you see. The Qigong, the mind intent, the Shin, the level of awareness, the breath, and the interaction.
Okay, so Dr. Carl Totten, having some video issues here, but the video is actually up and it's available on my channel, so you guys can check that out. I'll leave the link down below so you guys can see it on your own. It's about a 20-minute interview. We talk martial arts. We talk martial arts history. I mean, it's deep stuff, guys. I really, really enjoyed that discussion. So, yeah, go ahead and do yourself a favor. Check that out. Other things to talk about really quick. I had an amazing interview with Mr. Tim Larkin. For those that aren't aware or don't know of who Tim Larkin is a former Navy SEAL and responsible for or I should say the creator of the target focus training system. So basically everything that he learned in the Navy, plus what he learned from special force people. Basically, this is like a no holds barred system where the whole idea is to go ahead and inflict injury on people as the great equalizer. So pop this up just so you guys can see it.
Person to where they're non-functional, where they're either unconscious or they're injured in such a way that you can safely turn your back on them and get into the other threat. The assumption that we made was that whenever we train is that whoever we're training, we assume they're going to be facing multiple attackers. Those attackers are going to be bigger, faster, and stronger, and they're going to carry tools. They're going to carry weapons.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that interview, I'll drop that link down below as well. I was able to do that interview with my guy, my friend, Mr. Sifu. Not Mr. Sifu Gus Gates. You guys know him and love him. He's been on the channel a few times. He's got his martial arts school out in the village, Westlake Village, out here in California. Interested in training with him? Do go ahead and hit him up. I'll leave links. I gotta leave links all over the place for people, but yes. So see a couple people in the building. Wow, Bernard Green, what's good? Lone Wolf and Cub in the building. I see you guys. Tony Robles, what's good, my dude? Yeah, there we go. Let's go. Okay, so a couple more quick announcements, then we're gonna roll right into this. And so just to let everybody know, we're talking Warrior tonight, the series that is available now on Netflix. 3 seasons in. We'll talk about why there's no season 4, but tonight we're gonna talk specifically season 1. All right, so there's going to be spoilers involved. We're breaking everything down. If you haven't seen the show, just be warned. And I'm telling you, once I get the guys in here, we'll give you that warning again. But I want to pre-warn people so no one's in here like, oh, it's for the whole show, man. Watch the show. Yeah, watch the show. But I'm telling you, we're breaking the show down, and we're going to really do it very intently. Yeah, so let's go. See some folks in the house on the chat, and I'm going to acknowledge people. And by the way, do me a favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let's get active tonight in the chat. It's been a while since I've been live, and I'm going to try to do more of these depending on how well this live goes tonight. I'm going to break this up also so that you guys know it's going to be season 1. We're talking specifically tonight. Then we're going to do season 2 and 3 in the next following week. So the next 2 Fridays, if you don't have anything else to do, come on in. I think we're going to do this time at 7 o'clock if it's good for everybody. You guys let me know if there's a better time. Okay. But that's the plan. All right. Okay. Also, some more quick news before we get rolling, before I get my guys Lone Wolf and Cub in here. And quick shout to Lone Wolf and Cub Kung Fu channel. Those are the guys I'm talking about. If you've not checked out their channel, go ahead and do so. They do basically breakdowns of old martial arts, both old and new martial arts movies. If you guys are into Shaw Brothers, Golden Harvest, Kid with the Golden Arm, Five Deadly Venoms, all those kind of movies, Bruce Lee movies, Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, you name it. Those guys do great breakdowns, and they talk a lot of great specifics on shows, so you can check them out. But I'm also excited to tease a little bit. I will have a big superstar coming to the channel very, very soon. Mr. Mark Dacascos himself. Yes, we got the go ahead. Gonna talk to him. It's gonna be amazing. He's in Warrior season 3. Spoilers there. But yeah, he's in that. But he's been in so many other shows. The Iron Chef himself. So we're gonna chop it up with him. That's going to be a lot of fun. If you got particular questions and stuff you'd like me to ask, go ahead and drop them down in the comments, and I'll do my best to include. And then finally, I did also talk to another martial arts legend, another Kung Fu legend. So I'm not going to give away that name yet. Actually, I should say a martial arts legend. Think in the veins or in the realm of like Don the Dragon or Benny Urquidez. So he's right up in that tier. So we're thinking of who I'm talking about. If you got a guess, you can leave it in the comments. But I'm working on that interview as well. So we're going to round off the year. And by the way, the year is going super fast. I mean, dude, it's almost the end of summer, which I'm not mad about because it's hot as hell over here in LA. But summertime is good time. Anyway, guys, welcome all to the chat. Thank you guys for being a part of this. Last thing I want to talk about before we get into this discussion about Warrior is let me know also in the chat, because as we start talking, I start with chatting with the guys from Lone Wolf and Cub. I want to know specifically what you guys are looking forward to as far as upcoming things that I'm doing on the channel. Also, what's your favorite season of Warrior? Let me know that down in the chat. But again, please do like, comment, subscribe. It definitely helps us to keep growing. And yeah, man, let's get it popping. Let's go start talking about this show. Warrior, as you guys know, big favorite show of mine. The main characters, about Assam, about Father June, Young June, the Hop Wei, the Long Z, all that we're talking. We know on the channel, I've talked to a few people from the cast, like Perry Young has been here, Brett Shan, the main stunt coordinator. We talked to Jenny Ombao, who played Lai on the show. So if you haven't already, and after you see this and want to go through the archives, feel free. We're going to break down not only season 1, but give you guys some details behind the scenes stuff, which I thought. So think of this kind of as a retrospective, but we're going to do that also. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys. All right, so let's get it going, man. Yeah, let me get my guys Lone Wolf and Cub in here, and then we're gonna rock it. Okay, so you guys keep the chat live for me, and yeah, we'll talk after I speak with these guys. I'll wrap things up with you all, and we'll talk a little bit more and give you a couple little other tidbits of things that are going to be happening in the future with the channel. All right, guys. All right, special edition of Kung Fu Chronicles. What is up, Chronicle family? Hope all is good. And as you can see, I got some guests tonight with me because we are talking Warrior, the TV series that you all know that I love to the fullest. I've got my guys from Lone Wolf and Cub Kung Fu, Lone Wolf and Cub. So that's Big Ant along with Danny here with me. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, man.
Right.
Doing great. Thank you so much for having us. Appreciate you.
Man, thank you guys for doing this. And just so people know, tonight we're talking full Warrior. We're talking everything, all 3 seasons. We're not going to break down every single episode, but we are going to talk about the show in general, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we thought could have been better, what we thought like really was worked well for us. Kind of like just a retrospective of the whole show.
That's
so
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Lock the fuck in. We're about to get it. Let's go.
We're talking martial arts. Of course, we're going to talk our favorite characters. Of course, we're going to talk some of our favorite scenes. And of course, we're going to talk some of our favorite fights. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to get it going right away. And by the way, since again, we're talking spoilers, if you haven't seen the show, you have been warned. So if you want to click off, watch the series, come on back, I won't fault you for that. But if you're rolling with us, just know you're rolling with us with all the spoilers and everything we got to say about the show, because that's the only real way. And by the way, I got to say right away that I'm I'm so happy that I got Lone Wolf and Cub here because they have just recently seen the show, where most of you guys know that I've like been watching the show since it started in 2019. But it's great to have that perspective from people that have things fresh on their mind. All right, so we're gonna kick this off just by watching a little bit of this trailer from season 1, and then we're gonna get right into the conversation.
You think you can take me on?
That's the wrong question.
Oh yeah? What's the right one?
Do you really want to find out?
There are 25,000 Chinese living in this city, and more coming every day.
You do what you have to survive. It's about 100 different ways it can bury you.
Someone has to start fighting back.
Okay. Let's go.
All right, so here we go. Let's talk about it. Warrior season 1. All right, we kicking it off with the bang, man. This show is amazing to me from top to bottom. And for those that have never watched it, if you're going ahead and talking with us about it, it's a show that's set in the 1870s and based on writings by the legendary Bruce Lee. His daughter, Shannon Lee, got access to this original screenplay, went ahead and pushed it through with the powers that be. Producer Jonathan Tropper, who's produced some amazing shows like C, like Banshee, another one of my favorites, by the way. Got in the hands of Justin Lin, who decided he would direct. And basically, this was Bruce Lee's concept before it was taken by the studios, and then the TV series Kung Fu was created with David Carradine. This was basically a bastardized version of what Bruce Lee truly wanted to bring to the screen. This is more of the essence and true grit of what he wanted. This is this 19th century piece based on Assam, who's our main protagonist, who comes from China, fresh off the boat, as you're going to see in episode 1. And at first, we don't know what he's looking for, but pretty soon we get into the action right away. It's 1870s San Francisco. And he's greeted off the boat by, not greeted. He's actually gets confronted by the immigration officers and whatever. But then after that, he meets up with their character Chow, who's played by Hoon Lee. And then Hoon Lee's character then takes Assam into town to meet up with the number 1 Tong, the Hop Wei. From there, because Chow lets him know, hey, you're looking for work, but a guy with your skills needs to be in this position. And then from there, all sort of things ensue. And then you start meeting other characters, and you come to find out that Assam's looking for his sister, who is a person named Mai Ling, who is the wife of the head of the other Tong in the city, the Long Zi. And that connection is made. And then there are also other characters we're going to talk about. But then the other critical point to the season and the other dichotomy, there was a split dichotomy wise, is the police force, which you've got 2 officers. They're basically head of the Chinatown gang, the Chinatown division of the police force out there. And then also the Irish Union, who's headed by a guy named Leary, who we will talk about as well. And he's the main villain of the show. But I use that word loosely. Anti-hero, villain, all those things. So a bunch of characters coming in, but the whole dynamic to Chinese versus Irish, because Leary's character is all about, like Irish first, and, like he believes the Chinese are taking their jobs, and et cetera, et cetera. So very much a show mirroring themes that we even see to this day, which is very interesting to me. So I always like the story on top of the fact that, of course, the martial arts is amazing, the characters are great, and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm gonna have my man Ant jump in, my man Danny jump in, and give me their thoughts and reflections. Season 1, things, your initial thoughts on it. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, sure. So I had the pleasure of watching this show about a month ago. I had admittedly, I've been falling behind on my TV shows we watch a lot of, on our channel, we watch a lot of Kung Fu movies. Serialized television, as far as martial arts is concerned, is much lower on our radar. So I've missed shows like Warrior and Into the Badlands and things of that nature. So I've got some homework, still a lot of work to do. But with regards to this particular show, what I will say is that it was such a pleasure watching Bruce Lee's vision come to fruition. And so shout out to all the people who helped make this thing come to life. It's very interesting watching how this show comes together, as I like to say, as this kind of delicious fruit salad that has all these wonderful ingredients that are making up this delicious dessert that you love. You have a beautiful backdrop that the producers were able to create that has a very this spaghetti western vibe that they've created for the show. You have these interesting characters. You have wonderful soundtracks of hip hop that create this really wonderful tapestry that really adds to the flavor of the show. There's wonderful martial arts that's being displayed in the channel, and differing martial arts. Right, it's not just everyone's doing kung fu, but there are different styles that are being demonstrated throughout the show. It's wonderful. And then the thing that I really admire, in addition to the fact that there are a lot of characters who have their own arcs and their own storylines, one of the things that I just absolutely love, and you kind of alluded to it earlier, is this kind of two-tiered didactic storytelling, where we're talking about two groups of proud people who are both fighting for the exact same thing, the American dream, right? So you have the Chinese who are immigrating to America and are settling in San Francisco with the very first Chinatown that was ever created, and they are fighting for the American dream. They're fighting for I'm gonna use this word, but scraps.
Yes,
a lot of scrapping involved. A lot of scrapping, and they're trying to grab a piece of that dream. They want to work. They're not just sitting around like sitting on anyone's dime. They actually want to work and earn and create community for themselves. And then there's the Irish, who I know some people who watch the show will, as you said earlier, you kind of said Leary being a villain. In actuality, the Irish and Mr. Leary, they're actually not. They are also, from their perspective, also looking for that piece of American dream, right? That they want jobs, and they're not just sitting around. You hear it. It's said by various characters throughout the show. I'm not looking for a handout, right? That they actually want to work, right? But they're being pitted against this other group, right? And what we all know historically, as you see that play out today, is that we tend to pit marginalized groups against the majority and say, look, those people are taking something away from you. Those people are taking jobs away from you. And then it creates this animus and this hatred, and that hatred builds. And there's actually, we'll get to it, there's actually a moment in the show where that comes to a fever pitch. And so just an absolute fantastic show. One last thing I'll say, and then I'll turn it over to Cub. I don't want to steal all the thunder. One of the things that I really enjoy about this show is the character build. Yes. That every character having their own different motivations, and I'm sure we'll get into each one of those characters. Yes, each character believes that what they are doing is right.
Yes.
They absolutely believe that what they're doing is right. So each character, even the ones that you may call villains, in their heart of hearts, they mean well.
Yes.
Because they believe in what they're doing. And so it is fantastic storytelling. I'm just want to say this outright, and I'll turn it over to Cub. I think it is an absolute travesty that we could get a show that's this well written, has action, has love, has romance, has all these powerful themes that are built into the show about loyalty and brotherhood and all of these things. And we can only get 3 seasons of that. But we can get 12 seasons of what's that show with the two
Supernatural.
brothers?
Yeah, Supernatural.
How many vampires can we kill, folks?
But you know what? We'll go into like some of the reasons why the show unfortunately got canceled or didn't keep following through, because I have a few people that I talked to that behind the scenes that shined a little bit of light on that. But to your point, yes, this show was very well done. And since I'm on, and I'm gonna let you speak in just a second, Cub. The great part about the show is, yes, the character building and all of that is along with the fighting. But I will say that I'm a little envious of you guys because you guys got to watch all these episodes back to back to back to back, where I was like, every season I'm like, all right, we gotta wait for next season. We gotta, just like, people have to watch it. But I'm envious of you guys, but I'm glad at the same time that people get to watch it as well, because on the rewatch it's so much fun. But yeah, for those that don't know, this show started in 2019. Then the second season was that following year, and then we had to wait almost 3 years because the show actually got canceled on its mother station of Cinemax, and then moved over to HBO Max, now Max. So that was all a drama. And then of course it finally just got canceled. Max said they weren't re-upping, so that's where we were left. But Cub, I definitely want you to speak a little bit on this, your initial thoughts on season 1, at least, or some of the things about it.
Right. So I thought season 1 was pretty good. It really set the tone for like what we could expect moving forward. What I really appreciate about this show is that everybody, and I mean everybody, is flawed. Like, even the people who you think are the most morally good, they are not without their own faults and their own sets of problems. But it really, to this show's credit, it really goes a long way in terms of like humanizing pretty much every single person who we are introduced to in the first season. There are for sure some villains, like whole villains in this show. I would say Dylan Leary is definitely a villain, even if he's not like the villain for the show. But yeah, it does a really good job of showing everyone's like character motivations, how their interests align with other factions, how the goals of two opposing factions are similar and yet different, and how two or more opposing sides like approach their own individual problems, how they deal with their own problems as the show progresses. So yeah, for this first season, I was really down with just how they established every individual character's narratives and the overarching storylines that they had throughout the show.
Yeah, it's a great point that you bring up, because everyone truly is flawed, and that's kind of like the style for people that have followed him, like Jonathan Tropper. He would bring to all these other shows, because another favorite show of his that I don't know if you guys ever watched, Banshee, but it's kind of along the same lines and written a lot. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the characters from that show he brought over, not a lot, but at least a couple, at least Hoon Lee, a couple like that. And I'll mention the cast briefly because Andrew Koji plays Assam. We got Diane Doan as Mai Ling. Olivia Chang is Atoy, who we didn't even mention earlier. She is the owner of a local brothel in town. Perry Young is Father June, who you guys that have been with me on the channel for a while knew. I got to talk to Perry Young. He's an amazing actor and guy. Jason Tobin is Young June. Rich Ting is Bolo from the first season. And Kieran Bew as Bill O'Hara, who is one of the main Irish cops, as well as Tom Weston Jones, who also plays a cop in the show. So I want to start right away just talking about some of the good stuff about it. The action, of course, setting the tone right away. This is from the first episode, and right off the bat, we get a sense of style from what Andrew Koji brings to the table as Assam, and what you're basically going to be in store for as the series progresses, because his fighting dominance and style is just, it's set right away. The tone's set. So I'll put this up here. We can watch a little bit of it.
Yeah, well, you better learn it fast. Because if you don't answer me now, he's gonna bleed all over that fancy shirt of his.
I wouldn't do that again if I were you.
Fucking slang and talk American.
Holy shit. Do
Talk
it again.
American.
Say something.
I didn't travel halfway across the world in that damn boat just to amuse a few fat white fucks. There. I said something.
You think because you speak American, you can talk shit to me?
Well, you have to admit it helps.
Somebody chick needs to learn his place. You think you can take me on?
That's the wrong question.
Oh yeah? What's the right one?
The right question is, do you really want to find out?
Yeah, just setting that tone right away. Assam just says, listen, dude, I got some skills, and now you're going to force me to show you what I got. And he comes with the heat. So we're about to watch a little bit of this fight.
Can I say something else?
Yes, absolutely.
What I will say, because again, spoilers, he's a tad arrogant.
Oh, no, we're going to talk about that. He's very arrogant.
He's a tad
He's not
arrogant.
a tad, he's very arrogant. Yes.
He is certainly not the martial arts master that he becomes by the time we get to season 3. There are levels, and he actually has to get his comeuppance. He has to face his own challenges with how good or not as good as his skill is, and that he's going to have to build himself up to become this warrior, if you will, that he becomes by the time we get to season 3, where he's like the leveled up master that we want him to be. He's good enough right here to take on these schmoes, but he actually does face challenges. This is not a show where he is dominant throughout the entire show. He has to get there. So I love that. This is a great setup.
And again, back to Cub's point, everyone's flawed, and that's one of the big flaws in the beginning for Assam, is that he thinks he's so good that he really can take on the world. Yeah. So that's a great.
One last thing,
mm-hmm.
the people are flawed. So the Irish are flawed in their ideology, and let me just say this really quickly, because I think that it needs to be said, right? The Irish see themselves as the dominant culture over the Chinese, but what we learn, or what those who learn this stuff understand, is that in actuality, the Irish were at the bottom of the totem pole when they arrived here. They were looked down upon. They were thought to bring disease with them. They were told that they smelled, right? That they brought rats and bubonic plague with them when they arrived on the shores here in America. And so they then in turn are then passing on that vitriol, that hatred that they received from those who came before them onto these people. So it's just very interesting to watch sometimes, even built within the show, that some of the hypocrisy and the way in which people, view themselves and view others. So I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, I found myself at some point, I was rooting for both groups. I wanted the Irish. I did. I wanted the Irish to get jobs. I did. Right. I also wanted the Chinese to be able to thrive as well. It's just very interesting. I love this roller coaster ride that it took me on. As Cub said, for example, Leary, who is the chief antagonist on the Irish side,
right?
I did sometimes feel sorry for the guy, and I know we're going to get to it, but we talk about characters who are flawed, and you start to there are times where you're like, okay, I hope he gets his ass kicked, and then there's other times you're like, man, I'm rooting for this guy. And so this is going to be a fantastic discussion. I'm sorry, but
right, no, keep going, because I was actually going to say I had similar thoughts when I first started watching this, but I think, and especially again, you guys got to watch it back to back to back. So for me, every season I had a different feel. So after the first season, I really wasn't a Leary sympathist.
Right.
Yeah, not really.
Right. He was blowing up factories and
yeah, dude, he really wasn't showing any. human side. But then when we start to get to season 2, which we'll discuss, and then season 3, I think by season 3, I really was like, then I was more on the side that you're taking. But absolutely.
I wanted to share some points that I had in mind, some thoughts I had in mind to what OG was saying, but I'll share them after you get through this clip.
Okay. I'll just play this is a little bit of the fight, just so we can establish what Assam's style is and how he fights.
Fucker!
Okay, I got to speak on it right away.
Yep.
One of the things that I appreciated also throughout this show, for those of you who haven't watched, you have to watch this show if you are a Bruce Lee fan. They go to great steps to pay homage to Bruce Lee. So you're going to see a ton of iconic moments that you've seen if you've ever watched anything that Bruce Lee's ever done that he's gonna do. One of them right there is the famous sidekick that he does. He did it to what is his name? Bill? Is it Wall? Bill Wall
from you're talking about from Bob Wall.
Bob Wall. Yeah,
Right,
I mean, you're gonna see that kick that he does, and also he did it in Way of the Dragon, where the guy's holding the side bag and he side kicks the guy into the boxes. That was that kick right there. And you're gonna see a lot of that stuff.
But even before he does that, you notice he has the chain punching straight from Wing Chun. So they established right away that Assam is a Wing Chun specialist. That's his main, his main discipline.
And he does a lot of work with the dummy throughout the show.
And but right away you basically see that he's a badass, and he knows how to handle himself. And really quick shout out to, because you can see Hoon Lee in that little picture as well. He plays the character of Chow, who basically discovers Assam on that pier, and from there says, hey, you need to come with me, and you need to get some work where you're really gonna be able to use your skills. So go ahead, Danny. What were you gonna say?
He's also somewhat of a middleman. He's not with Hop Wei. And he's not with the Longzi. Is it Longzi?
Yeah. Yes, the
Longzi. He's not with either. He's kind of this middleman. He's kind of a guy who can get things if you need them and stuff like that. And so he tries to play it down the line. He's an interesting character. I can't wait till we talk about him as well. So.
Absolutely. So go ahead. You were going to say something, Cub? What were you going to say?
No, it's cool. He's actually one of my favorite characters. But so getting to your point, Quasi, about Assam's flaw, I think it's like it's simultaneously his greatest strength and weakness, or at least one of his greatest strengths and weaknesses. The double-edged sword for him, really, where Assam deliberately puts himself into dangerous situations, trying to challenge himself and trying to become better. I love that about him. We're gonna get into season 2 later, but this whole running theme with him, where Leary was asking him, like, did anyone ever tell you have a problem with overconfidence? And Assam's like, it's come up. Come up. That whole running theme with Assam and like purposely putting himself into dangerous situations. It's a fun one because we get to see just how far he pushes himself, and just how far he challenges himself while going up against other people, whether they're just brawlers or actually like skilled combatants. And then to the point that my dad was making about the people that we're rooting for like throughout the seasons, but especially with this first season, I found myself at a point where they showed just enough characters and groups on like in both the Chinese side of like the Chinese perspective and the Irish perspective. Like they showed characters, they showed enough characters to a point where I was like, I can't fully root for either of them because there are good people like in the Chinese group, and there are good people in the Irish, but then there's plenty who do wrong on both sides.
Isn't it interesting how generations, how that gap is? Like two people father and son watching the same show, but have different takeaways about the same subject matter. So he said he's actually feeling the opposite than I was feeling. I just find that interesting, but okay, we don't want to slow the show down.
No, not absolutely. No, I love to listen to. Part of this was actually getting your thoughts and views from people who have just recently seen it, because I'm so biased when it comes to this show. So it's good to have just fresh perspectives on this, because I've talked about this show to death on this channel and had so many people on the channel talking about it. That is great. So I don't mind at all hearing fresh perspectives on this, because like I said, you guys too have the benefit of binging it, whereas I was watching it season by season, so my feelings would change for certain characters or certain times. Assam in general, of course I was always rooting for Assam. We all are, because he's the main protagonist. And then we can talk about this, because we're going to talk about best fights and stuff from the season. You find out he's coming in search of his sister. He came all this way to find his long lost sister, who he discovers is the wife of the head of this other Tong in San Francisco, the Long Z. And when he meets her, he doesn't get the warm welcome he thought he was going to get. So, everything from there just kind of pushes forward. But I think the main thing, even from the beginning, and especially as you get to the close on the third season, is it really is a story about the siblings. That's really the root of the story. And yes, there are all these other ancillary characters and people you meet that you grow with, and you learn, and you love them as well. But the essence and the heart of the show is about Assam and his sister. And won't they finally just cut the shit and get together and just be the true the coupling that they should be, because they are related. But but all of the other things that happen around it, including the politics, because we can briefly talk a little bit about this, because there's a whole deal with the mayor and his assistant, who are trying to kind of come up in the ranks, and then the things that they do that are a little bit more, and they're to me more on, yes, we could say that everybody's got that positive side, but for them, in their minds, they think what they're doing is good, but they're really kind of just furthering their agenda on the Chinese Exclusion Act, which was a real act that happened. So back to your point, Big Ant, the Irish kind of felt that they were the top tier people as things progressed and the Chinese came into play, and they looked down on the Chinese the way the Irish were first looked down on in the beginning. And then it all just becomes a kind of this pot of, Irish are also white folks, so we're going to kind of stick with this group. And then, they all see each other as a little more of that superior group. So all that kind of plays hand in hand. I'm going to play a little bit of some of these fights that we can start talking about, because it is a martial arts show, guys. So we're going to talk about a couple of these fights. The main one to start things off, I'm gonna have when Assam meets up here with Leong. Leong is played by Joe Taslim. So Joe Taslim, for those that aren't aware, was also in The Raid. He played Sub-Zero in the first Mortal Kombat movie. I believe he's going to be in the second one. A whole lot of shows and movies that people are probably familiar with.
My favorite characters on this show.
Love him. I actually got to say something here really quick. This fight, I believe, because this was also the first episode, this fight was the first time that you saw that Sam's not as bad as he thinks he is, because Leong got skills.
Exactly what I was talking about.
Yep.
And he had that revelation on his face, was like, oh wait, this dude just blocked all my shit, and then he's feeling it. It's like, whoa, right? So I really love that, and I love the fact that, okay, you're not the baddest mofo in town, right? Not the best fight by any means of that season, because that, again, first episode of season 1, but back to my point before, we established also that the Long Z have they've got their heavy hitter, who is Leong, and his fighting skills are, some would even say leveled, matched up with AhSam's, and some would say he's even better than AhSam. And I think season 1 he definitely was a little bit better than AhSam, but it was good to see that that's the old saying, there's always a bigger fish. So I'll let you guys talk a little bit on your thoughts initially, and we'll talk some more fight scenes.
I'll let you comment.
Okay, sure. So for that first fight in particular, I really enjoyed it. Like you said, it was a tone setter for Leong and like his presence in the story as Mai Ling's main enforcer. What really added to that fight was the bit of news we get from AhSam after he talks with his sister about how he beat Sun Yang. Sun Yang isn't someone they actually showed on screen, but Sun Yang was a warlord that Mai Ling, formerly known as Shao Jing, was married off to basically by force. And so I think one thing that people may or may not forget going into this first season, or I guess rewatching the first season, is that AhSam didn't just start in America as the cool martial artist that he is. He had to train to get just where he is in that first season before he even meets Leong. So he had to train to beat and kill the guy who forcefully married his sister. He had to kill him, then he had to come to America and then tried to get her back. The whole reason why he trained to get as strong as he was before even meeting Leong was to get his sister back. And so the frustration you see in this fight that he's having with Leong is very real. It's very visceral. I love to see it. That added context really explains like why AhSam is so angry that he's not getting nearly as much ground as he wants against Leong. So I really dug that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Just factoring that part in, and now that you say that, so again, it's great to have you guys' perspective. So I haven't seen episode 1 in a little bit, but yeah, it's the double frustration. Yeah, I'm here to see my sister, but I've trained this hard, and I'm finally here, and his attitude is when they, spoilers again, when Mai Ling walks down the steps and she puts an end to that fight. So it's kind of a teaser fight, and his attitude is Mai Ling, I'm here, and he just expects her to just run up and be like, oh, it's my brother. And she's like, dude, it's like, nah, dude, I had to marry this dude because you killed this guy and I was forced into the marriage and he beat me, he me, all this stuff. And he's just like, he doesn't know what to say. And he's got to kind of go back, tail between his legs, back to the Hop Wei and just kind of live his life in San Francisco. And my sister doesn't want to, she don't want to mess with me. So that's interesting. Your thoughts, Big Ant, on this? Anything?
So for me, we're talking about the fights. What I will say is how badass. I always say his name wrong. Is it
Leong?
Leong Z? Leong?
Leong from the Long Z. Yeah. There's a lot of names. Yeah.
I just, you know what? He reminds me of a classmate of mine. Who walks softly and carried a big stick. If you watch this show, man, he maybe has throughout the entire 3 seasons, he got about 4 minutes of dialogue, if that, right?
Yeah.
He don't talk.
Yeah.
His demeanor, his martial arts expression, but particularly his demeanor is just so calm and cool. Remember, AhSam's giving his all.
Right.
AhSam showed up. He's already had 2 fights. He fought the use the language they use. He fought the bulls.
Yes.
Or
scrapped with the bulls.
He scrapped with the bulls.
Yep. Scrapped with the bulls.
When they first arrived. And then he walked into their lair and he fought some of the lower, henchmen, right? Mm-hmm. Now he faces Leong and come on! I mean, he's really trying. And it's not even phasing Leong. There's one where he does a chain punch of 3. He's like, whack, right? Yep. Right into Leong's chest. And Leong just kept coming. I was like, oh my God. This guy is no joke. And so I love that they establish how much of a badass he is. So much so, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I truly feel this way, especially after watching it a second time with him. I looked forward to seeing him fight.
Right.
Like, I knew Assam was going to get his tick because it's basically a show about him, right? So I knew those fights were going to be great. And in season 2, he gets the moment. I know we're going to get to it. He gets the moment that I won't say it now, but he gets the moment. And I'm like a kid in the candy store for Assam.
Right.
But when Leong fights, I'm just so happy. I like sitting just watching him. And you know, it's crazy. I didn't realize he's Sub-Zero in more. That's Sub-Zero, right?
Yes, and I think he's going to be in the second one too, the one that's about to come out.
Like, man, he made me want to go back now and watch Mortal Kombat because I don't remember him.
To be fair, that Mortal Kombat's not a good movie, but yes.
He also is in the first raid, if I'm not.
He's in the first raid,
Holy crap. So now I got to go back and watch that. It's like, I enjoy watching him. And even the way the show ends, I know I'm jumping all the way to the third.
Yeah, no,
the way that the show ends, no spoilers here. I'll wait till we get there. But the way that the show ends, I wanted more of that.
Right.
That last after credit scene with him, I said, oh yeah.
Spinoff.
That's a spinoff right there. I would watch that. Right. Yes. Take my money. And so, yeah, I dig him. I dig him a lot. Now, they did a lot of work to make Assam Bruce Lee light.
Yes.
They did a lot of work, and I appreciated that. I appreciated all those little Easter eggs, if you will. I truly appreciate those. But I thought that Leong's style was like you've never seen that before. We know that Assam is emulating Bruce.
Yes.
But Leong, no. That is a very, it's nothing I've ever seen before. It does look a little bit like Long Fist to me.
Yeah, so I was gonna say differences in styles. You got more of like Assam with Wing Chun's more Southern style. Yeah. Leong is like you're saying. Long Fist is more like the Northern style, with more kicks and things like that. But to your point, they really do a good job of having Assam kind of emulate Bruce Lee moves and mannerisms.
Even doing his hands like this,
right? And just the kick, and it's like But then Leong, like we'll talk about it too as we get to season 2. He has got some times when they do some Bruce Lee kind of style stuff. But yeah, to your point, I was just as interested, and this is good writing. I was just as interested in Leong's arc as I was in Assam's, and I wanted to see Leong also like flourish and do things.
I would turn the covers and shake him. Why won't he wake up? Why doesn't he see? I don't want to say it, but it's like, why doesn't he see it? Wake up, Leong, wake up. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for his awakening,
Exactly.
He's incredibly loyal. And he is absolutely not a bad guy in this show.
He's not.
Yeah, no. He is not. So
he's not.
I enjoy that.
He's the loyalist of the group. And also we might as well mention that he's Mai Ling's lover. He plays. He's her. They're together.
Pretty lover. Yes.
Yes, and he's dedicated to her. So literally through the season, probably to answer some of your questions even coming up, why won't he wake up? Because it's like he's just so loyal to her that sometimes he's blinded
to a fault.
To a fault by what she'll do, and pretty much she's just there to be her backup, her enforcer, to make sure she, climbs the ladder and all that. She wants her success. But yeah, so let me play a little bit more, a couple more fights with Assam here, and then we could talk a little bit more and as we move into the other season. But we're going to talk about, of course, what ends up happening, because this is just the first taste of Leong and Assam, because later on, as we get down the line in the season, of course, they've got to meet up again. Here.
That was a great kid.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Oh, was that real? Was that his flexibility on for real?
Yeah, so here's the thing with this, and it's worth noting. I'm glad you said that. Both Andrew Koji, Joe Taslim are martial artists. They have martial arts past, and in fact, I didn't really even know this because I thought AhSam was more actor than martial artist. But when I talked to Brett Chan, who's the head stunt coordinator, he said, no. Koji came in and pretty much could do all his own stunts. He used to do tricking. He used to do all that stuff. So like some of the flipping and stuff that I thought they would double him was like, no, Koji could do a lot of that. Wow. So I was surprised to know that. I knew Joe Taslim was well versed in a very well skilled martial artist, but I didn't know how big of a martial artist Andrew Koji was until I got that behind the scene nugget. But yeah, absolutely, Koji was doing a lot of his own stunts in this, a lot of his fighting, as we'll talk about. But yeah,
but I appreciate throwing the leg up, catching it, axe kicking down. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, that's dope. It's freaking, it's dope. Yeah. And they have this fight here, and there's a brothel. We might as well mention this. There's a brothel, local brothel in town, where the character of Atoy, she's she owns the brothel. So there are a lot of comings and goings in this, and that also plays a piece in season 1. She's basically one of AhSam's confidants because she sees what AhSam can do.
Also one of my favorite characters on this show.
Yeah.
Initially, they start a little bit of a romance, but that doesn't really lead anywhere. But as the series progresses, she still stays as one of his, most trusted friends.
She's the sister that to me, she's more to me, in my opinion. She's the sister that he needs, and it is so. It's just so nice seeing them when they're together, and they have this little thing that they do all the time. Where she always makes up phrases. She goes, Confucius said blah 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 blah, and then he goes,
Sun Tzu.
He goes, Confucius never said that.
Never said that. Yeah,
they do kind of lie throughout the show, and I think it's cute. And
the writing again is like, it's cool because even from that first clip that we showed when AhSam's going through the immigration officers and all that, he's you can see he's a smart ass.
Yeah,
and it's fun to watch him, and his this back and forth can be a lot of fun in this show because everybody's got these smart lines, and I think all the characters are written well. Yes,
and we should say because we're fawning all over AhSam and
Atoy.
No,
Leong.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I want to say Long Z so bad. Leong. Atoy can fight.
Oh yes,
badass with a sword. Yeah. And there's a story that's built in. Can I talk about it now?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a story that's built in that the cops are investigating. There's someone who's going around flashing up white guys.
Yeah.
And the cops are basically trying to investigate. They're trying to find out who it is who's doing it. Because we're from the perspective of the audience. They let us know from the get it's her. Right.
But the cops are trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Right. The cops are trying to figure it out. They actually never discover it was her. Which I love that too. They never, throughout the show, they never figure out that it's her. Instead, they find someone else to blame. We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
But she herself is.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but actually, season 3, I think they finally put it together because there's a part where we'll talk about that at the very end. But yes,
we're talking about the fight with the gentleman.
Yes.
Okay. I guess.
That's when, to me, we can, and listen, just for the audience to say, we're going to go all over the place with talk. But in season 3, they finally, at least Bill's character, who's the head cop, kind of finally connects the dots. Yeah. So anyway, go back to what you're saying.
But the fact of the matter is, and it, again, we have to say this: AhSam and Leong are not the only martial artists in the show. No. We have a gentleman that we meet in season 3, Hong, who's very good with the whip chain. He's fantastic in it.
I say season 2. Yeah, but yes, season 2 he comes in.
Season 2 or season?
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's introduced in season 2. Yeah, he's fantastic. There is a young lady who I can't remember her name, who she gets sold to
Lie.
Yeah, Lie. We're talking about Lie. Martial artist as well. I mean, there are people in the show, but what I do love is that everybody don't know martial arts.
Yes.
And there's a joke that's made about it. At some point, someone made a joke about it. They're like, can all of you fight like that? He's like,
right. I forgot. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that does come familiar.
It was pretty funny. And so, I mean, the martial arts, just so for all of you who have not watched the show, it's not just going to be a show where it's just going to be a bunch of fighting, but rather the martial arts supports the story. So it's not just fighting for the sake of fighting. There are reasons for these fights, and they are smartly placed throughout they're smartly placed throughout the show. Yes. And you really will appreciate each fight. The one person who I personally didn't like his fighting style is Young Jun.
I was just about to mention Young Jun, but okay, no problem.
Though there are a couple of times though where he did something I said, oh, I thought, when I see someone go like real fast with the blades, I go, okay, but he can't fight without his knives.
So right? Young Jun, as we're about to see, I'm about to show a little bit of Young Jun here too. Okay. Young Jun is really no, that's fine. And I was actually going to mention a point real fast. It's not a big deal, but the Hop Wei, who are the main, two main tongs in the city, the Hop Wei, the Long Z. Hop Wei is the ones.
Think of them like the Axe Gang. Right.
Yes, they're the clean cut suits, black and white, the axes. They're very clean cut. Father Jun has established them as kind of like they're the kind of the almost like the elitist group in town. Yeah. And then the Long Z are more like the traditionally garb, where they got the longer trench coats and they look like even the old school Wong Fei Hung haircuts and all that. So it's like you already have that split between the groups in the beginning, so you know who's who. But it's almost that mentality too. It's like old school, new school. But yeah, it makes for some interesting watching. So here I'm going to just fast forward this because you brought him up. Young Jun, fighting style.
There he is.
Yes.
That right there.
Yeah, he fights with his knives, but he's effective with his knives. He's a slicer and dicer type fighter.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That Joker face he just put on that guy was crucial.
Oh, that's devastating, right?
And by the way, this show is not for the faint of heart. There are some brutal kills in this show.
There's some
Mortal Kombat like fatalities that happen.
But again, if you're a fan, if you know anything as you're watching this, if you're a fan of Jonathan Tropper and his work, it's very pulpy. It's very much like that same thing with like Banshee. It was like, people would get off left and right. And it was never like just some quick painless kills. It'd be like dudes getting hands chopped off and whatnot. So the same thing. It's the same sort of pulpy tone here. Fun fact:
this is the John Chinaman fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
John Chinaman
fight. Before you,
let's see some of those.
He takes hits. Wasn't expecting that. He doesn't have shoes on. See? He's no shoes.
So just so some people have some reference here, if you've never seen the show, this is basically Assam gets thrown into prison after he has like a little tussle in town by the one of the officers, Bill. And Bill kind of says, he tells the guys beforehand, you don't even see this, but I think it's an off-camera thing where he's kind of like puts Assam in the jail and has the other guys come in because he's like, he wants to see Assam
under the orders of Leary.
Right. He wants
Leary.
to see, Leary's like, just, like pepper this guy up. So, deal with him. So, leave some of Leary's guys in there to pepper up.
What's crazy about the circumstance that puts him in jail is he was actually defending the mayor's wife.
Yes.
He was actually defending the mayor's wife from these two guys that were like troublemakers.
Yep.
But the cops show up. They see a Chinese guy beating up two white guys, so they immediately jump on the Chinese guy, and he goes to jail. And then, in addition to what they decide to do is putting him in jail for beating up two white guys. They've been unsuccessful in finding this killer who's really a toy, who's been going around slicing up people. So they're going to lay that charge on him as well.
Yeah,
right.
So that's kind of their plan.
Something to point out. Richard actually saw things for what they were. Bill didn't care. He just saw a Chinese guy beating up on 2 other guys and just took him.
Right.
Yes, Lee. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but we should mention that character because Lee is another one of the officers that works with Bill, and basically they put together a Chinatown task force that Bill that he's the head of, the head officer. But then his the guy that's under him, Officer Lee, comes in and he's from like Georgia. He's like from a southern state, but he has kind of like investigative qualities. So he's the guy that kind of peels the onion back and is like, wait, this doesn't smell right. This isn't right. And he really gets into like the details, and they'll go to these scenes where like heads or whatever are chopped off because our toys come in and done her business. And he gets real investigative about it. And even the chief of police like, what's he doing, dude? Like, come on, dude, wrap this up.
It's kind of like think of it like our introduction to forensics.
Yes.
Right. So because he's from Georgia, he came from a pig farm, so he's used to having his hands inside of guts and entrails and things. So he's like investigating like the slices, and he's really measuring them, and he's taking notes. He has a notepad, and he is also another one of my favorite characters on the show.
Yeah,
because he is the moral compass that should be the police department. He should he should be in leadership, right?
Right.
And they play him for most of the show. They partner him up with Bill, who is actually a corrupt cop.
Yeah.
However, another one of my favorite characters, because he's complex. He's a corrupt cop, but he is a good guy. Kieran Bill.
Yeah. Kieran Bill.
But he is a good dude. He's corrupt, but he's not evil.
Well, he's a family man. You get to see the family, and you see his motivations. He does a lot of stuff for the family.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of philosophical disagreements about procedures and how they see things, and one of them is taking bribes from Atoy, and Kieran is also taking his cues from Leary and things like that, and the other gentleman, the southern gentleman, has a problem with it, and yet he's still trying hard to soot in Kieran's character. And so he sticks around for as long as he can. And he has his own arc as well, which is fantastic. One of my favorite characters on the show, but he can't fight.
Yeah.
No, not everyone in this show can fight.
He cannot fight, bro. He gets his butt handed to him a bunch on this show.
Although Bill does have a redeeming moment in the show later.
I'm talking about, what's the southern gentleman's name? The southern.
Oh, you're talking about Lee. Lee. Yeah.
Lee cannot fight, man. Lee gets his butt kicked throughout the show.
He gets his butt kicked a lot. But okay, yeah, we're talking about a little bit of that. Poor Lee. He's got a couple moments where he like, all right, he does okay, but against some skilled people, and to Cub's point earlier, it seems like everybody in town can fight. Because then when you see everybody's like, dude, can everybody fight? But yeah, you're right. Lee is the most underskilled because you have all these people that just fight at different levels.
Right.
I'm gonna fast a little bit so we could talk about, because we can move through, because we could talk about season 1 forever. But I did want to talk about some other key people in season 1, and one of them is let me see if I can get to this part. Bolo, who is basically almost second or third in command, I guess technically after Young June. This is seen as the enforcer in season 1. So Father June's like his ace, his guy.
What's his name? The Yellow Lion?
Yellow Demon.
Yellow Demon. Yeah. I love this fight scene.
Yep.
Because all 3 of them are there kicking butt.
Yes. They're all
Bolo's actually in another room by himself.
Yes.
I love how they reveal. There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
He reminds me a little bit of Carter Wong.
Yeah, so Richardson plays Bolo, and Bolo is, obviously a homage to all of our Bruce Lee characters. So Enter the Dragon, Bolo, Bolo Young. So obviously that's an homage to that. But his character is that he's loyal to the Hop Wei, and he's the
first person that kind of sniffs that something's a little amiss with Assam in the beginning.
don't like
He never trusts
like
Assam.
Right.
Yeah, he's not an Assam fan. Yeah, but go ahead, guys. Yeah, what were we saying? What were we gonna say? And
So it was actually something I was going to say about Young Jun, but it also extends to Bolo. So with the characters in this show, Warrior does a cool thing where their fighting styles emphasize an aspect about the person's character.
Yes.
So like AhSam, he's very aggressive, he's very confident, and you can see that in his fighting style. So like how he is as a person extends to how he fights. How Leong is as a person extends to how he fights. He's very calm, he's very reserved, he knows when to make a move, when not to. Young Jun is very fast and vicious with his knife slicing. And you see that aspect come out in how he fights, but it also that goes to show how he is as a person, where like he's constantly challenging Father Jun on his decisions, wanting to strike first, wanting to hit the long Z fast, hard. Like how he fights shows how he is as a person. And for Bolo with his messed up past, being forced into like fighting ring, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
he had to like basically fend for himself against other people who were put in a fighting ring with him against their will.
So on the ship over, it's shown later that he was forced to fight as they're making their way over to the States. And then finally he's taken and adopted by Father Jun. But yes, he's made to fight for basically his scraps, like the whole way over. And that's how he's toughened up. And that's why, he's got the attitude that he does. But absolutely.
And the fight between him and AhSam, they do a fantastic job in season 1 of building it up. So they're constantly...
Again, Bolo never trusts AhSam fully, but
And then AhSam's not making things better because AhSam keeps these smart quips antagonizing him.
Yeah, they always have little...
got some little dig at him, is making him more and more master. And then one day, Bolo says to him, one day me and you, we should go a couple rounds. Like, he's like, and it's like a build-up. And so that when we get to that towards the end of season 1, we get to that fight. It is at the end of season 1, correct?
Yeah, it's like a little past mid. Yes,
We get to that fight because Father Jun has, I believe, sent him alone to go and assassinate.
Yeah, he goes Mai Ling. Yes,
Mai Ling and the husband.
Yes,
his name was Long.
They're hiding out in a small little village just outside of town, and they got the information of where they are. So he sends Bolo there to assassinate both of them. And when AhSam hears it, AhSam takes off.
Right.
I mean, he takes off, and
he's going to
run top speed, and he getting there, and he literally gets there because Bolo is beating up Mai Ling. He's trying to fight back, but at the perfect moment, AhSam comes in. And he's like, what the heck are you doing? And he's like, the only way you're going to get through her is through me. Like,
as a matter of fact,
you know what's dope? So far, I think we've talked about 3 fights. Three for the most part. We still haven't touched on like the best fight.
There's so many.
No. Well, there are a lot of great fights, but then there are the ones that you go,
that's the one. Don't say it yet because I know what you're talking about because we're about to talk about it. But I want to, since you brought it up and I have it here, I want to talk about the Bolo versus AhSam fight.
Oh, really? Hey, and for a guy he's big. He's got some speed.
Fast,
Oh, he can move. He can move.
Oh, yeah.
The fight choreography in here is just top notch. And again, I got to give so much credit to Brett Chan, Johnny Yang, the guys behind the stunts in the show. They really put their all into this. Back to your point earlier, OG, and when you were talking about the fights and the style of the fights, each fight to me, and that's the beauty of it, it's not just punching and kicking. Each fight tells a little bit of a story. It's not just, and that's the way they set up the fights. When I talked to Brett, he mentioned that, because I talked to him about like a bigger fight that we'll talk about in season 2 very soon, and how I love that fight so much, and how that was their goal. How they basically, each fight tells a story about that character fighting. They're not just fighting to throw punches and kicks. And in this, you can see that as well. Because you're right, Assam bolts, gets to this part in town just in time before Bolo hacks up his sister. And by the way, that's another point to make. Mai Ling's a lot of things. She's great on the political side, but she can't fight. She's another one that can't fight for shit.
Use the gun more than anything. Yeah.
She can't fight. That's why she needs Leong so bad. So anyway.
Nice 1-2. Broke. Nice. Nice. Close quarters right here. Look at that. Look at this narrow hallway.
Yep.
You know how great, you know how hard it has to be to do this type of choreography in such a narrow passageway? I mean, this is Marshall Club. This is Gordon Blue versus Johnny Wang Long Wei.
Yeah.
This is Marshall Club. Look how narrow this hallway is.
Yep. It's really amazing watching them. But if you notice too, because of the close quarters, that's almost where it changes the dynamic of the fight, and that's what I like too. It's like because the Sam's really good close in with the Wing Chun,
right?
And that's where he starts to dominate in the fight. Whereas like when they had the range, Bolo was kicking his ass, throwing him around and using his strength and everything. So it's really a great. And then breaks the elbow right there as they get in close. Yeah.
And it's over. Right there.
And the sister is actually the one who took out Bolo, we see after that. So that scene gets cut off. But I wanted to ask you guys something. Well, you know what? Before I even do that, because I don't want to jump too much. I know we're jumping around. That's fine, because I wanted to have this kind of open conversation. As we're talking about, because we're going to get to the end of season 1 and talk a little shop here about that. But I want to see if I could do this. So I am gonna pop in one video, and hopefully this isn't messed up, because this is a short, so I'm thinking it should work, guys.
Can kick ass, and we can, basically that's what's about it. Assam is arrogant. He's an arrogant dude, and like we have.
Although losing that fight was a big deal, that lost the Hop Wei a lot of, they lost a lot.
So I wanted to bring this up because I got the opportunity to talk to Perry Young, who plays Father Jun in the show, and he basically is kind of saying the same thing you guys are saying. Assam is very arrogant, like he's an arrogant dude, and I think I was asking Perry Young at the time why Father Jun just keeps letting Assam kind of get passes, basically, so to speak. He'll come in and do his stuff, and there's stuff that Father Jun's not gelling with, but he said because he can kick ass. So he's like,
because the Long Z, they have Long, they have that guy, and they don't.
Right.
Young Jun is not Assam, and
although, and sorry to cut you off while I had the thought, they wanted Father Jun was going to initially have, had he not been killed, Bolo fight Yong.
I was about to say probably, but I still don't think that Bolo has the same skill set as Leong on the other side.
Oh, I agree. So my question was going to be if that had been the natural turn of events, who do you think would have won that fight? Leong would have won. And I do too.
Oh, and we haven't even got to that fight yet, but
that's where I'm leading.
Who won that fight?
That's where I'm leading. Okay. So let's do this. Let me take this off for a second.
And that's a great get that you got him for an interview, bro.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no. He was a really good dude, man. In fact, I talked to him after season 2, and then going into season 3, I got a chance to talk to him again. So I'll bring that up a little bit later, because the great part about being able to talk to some of the cast was getting like all the behind the scenes stuff that I didn't know. So like I said, a lot of the reasons I know about the fighting style and all that, because I did get to talk to the fight choreographer and some of the character traits, Perry Young shared with me. And actually I got to talk to Jenny Umba, who plays Lai, the mute girl in there. So she shared some stuff. So it was really cool. Go ahead, Cub. You had something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I agree with you guys on Leong beating Bolo. I think he might have actually beaten Bolo faster. Assam had to kind of figure him out. Like, it wasn't until he started locking up his arms that he got to him.
Okay, got you. Yeah, no. I think you're right with that. Okay. All right, so before we start this, this is where it all leads to pretty much the penultimate episode of the first season. You knew it was going to happen, Leong versus Assam, and basically how it's presented is the two Tongs have to come to an understanding about territory, and they decide like the ancient ways, and I'm trying to think of they decide in the ancient ways we're going to do a trial by combat. So they go ahead and each Tong, you pick your best fighter, and you're going to show up on this day, and they give them the instructions, pretty much fight to the death, and whoever wins gets control of like whatever that portion of the territory was in Chinatown.
Got a very blood sport look to it too. Very kumite.
This fight is, to me, the best fight of season 1. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this, and you guys can chime in.
He's going good here. You can see right off the beginning that Assam is better than he was when they first met. Right? He's actually getting licks. See, he's doing a lot better.
Which is interesting because I'm gonna tell you,
should have been a shoulder break.
Exactly.
I'm surprised that he got out of that.
So I was going to say this was interesting, and I'm glad you said that, because I remember driving home, like racing home, because just for the perspective, this used to come on at 10 o'clock on Cinemax on Fridays, right?
Okay,
so that's 7 o'clock LA time, and I remember racing through traffic because this episode was coming on, and everyone knew this was the fight night because the preview showed it. Raced my ass home to see this, and when Assam starts beating Leong in the beginning, I was so surprised. Like, dude, I did not think he was going to do this well. And look, we'll keep going, but I was like, so to your point, Ant, I was like, yo, Assam is really stepping up because I thought he could get handled more.
Right. That to me is the 1-inch punch. It is that punch that it's the beginning, because he does it at least throughout the series, at least 2 more times that he does it. One in particular, I'm sure we're going to see that fight too. But that's the first time that he does it, and it affected him.
Oh, absolutely.
And he develops it. He develops it, and I hope I will, because we just saw it today, so we could talk about it.
Yeah,
the development of the 1-inch punch right here is not necessarily a 1-inch punch. It's It was a straight punch, and he got him. Looks like solar plexus.
Yep,
and he really did some damage. The next time we see it, it is more of a 1-inch punch.
Yep.
And this time it's, can I say it, or do I have to wait?
Oh, go ahead.
He does it to Leary.
Yeah.
When he does it to Leary, they do a really great job of showing he stopped Leary's heart for a second.
Yes.
It's like, and then you don't hear Leary's heart for a second or two, and then it starts to beat again. You go, holy crap.
The guy
and then hold on, let me just wrap this up real quick. And when he does it the third time is in the series finale, and he does it to Hong, and that is the real 1-inch punch, because he doesn't even extend his shoulder. He just he literally just
it's a solid evolution of the character,
right?
Your point. But go ahead, Cub. You had something to say too?
I was gonna say the audio design for that part, like those guys who put that together for that fight with Leary, they did an amazing job.
Right.
you could really tell the difference, not just in terms of like how the 1-inch punch looked, but also in terms of the effect. Because like with Hong, he didn't want to kill him. I mean, he didn't want to have that fight in the first place. But
we'll get to it though.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But with Leary, that was a heart stopper.
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I got a nugget to share on that too, and that was definitely fun talking.
But with respect to this fight, now I can say it because we're on the fight.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, he won this fight. Look, that changed everything. Look,
agreed.
Yeah,
look at all the licks.
It turned the tide of the fight. It turned the tide of the fight.
He made a mistake.
He let him get a second win.
You let him wake up.
It turned the tide.
You should have grabbed immediately when he hit the floor and he was knocked out. You should have taken right here.
This was the part where you see though that this is Assam's arrogance though.
Right.
This is what cost him the fight.
You should have grabbed because the winner has to grab the sash.
And you're gonna. I think we
all
see.
You have to do right
here
is grab it. Look how long. Look, then he stares at my Ling. Look, look, he's not even doing it. Like get the sash. Get the sash.
Even Young Chun
sash. And you did.
All he had to do was grab the sash.
This guy gets up.
He gets his second win.
And spoilers, Leong gets up and then proceeds to beat the crap out of Assam, smashing his nose. Like anything I've ever seen ever on a movie, even in an MMA fight. I've never seen something so graphic. They did a fantastic job of showing his nose getting pushed in. And I'm like, holy
smashed.
The real fight finisher, and the real fight finisher was the move that Leong had been practicing before the fight, grinding his fist into the salt.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the double fist.
Oh yeah, he was done after that.
I mean, it really can't wrap the season up very well, and it was just kind of like you still had that vibe that Assam still has work to do. He's still, he's not the big fish, and that arrogance cost him that fight. So, and it's even to the point where Young Jun was like, "Yeah, he's got it. And there's a point
but this is what I love about the show. What I love about the show is our hero took an L. Hey. For kids at home, for martial art practitioners out there, for people at home, you're going to lose sometimes. Everyone's taking an L. I have, right? Everyone takes an L. It's what you learn from it.
Exactly.
It's how you get back up and how you develop and get stronger and get better. Everybody takes an L. L's are instructive more than win, right? And so I just want people at home, for those of you who have been in a tournament or who lost a forms competition or even a street fight, right? Sometimes you gotta take an L. It's a part of life. It's a part of learning, right? And that's exactly what he does, because when we get to season 2, Sam's in a bad place, right?
Yep.
He's still reeling from his wounds, right? He's moving slow. He's got some aches and pains, right? And he's been excommunicated from the Hop Wei. Am I right? Am I right in how I'm saying this?
So when So to fast forward, because we're gonna get to the last part of season 1.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I jumped.
Yeah. No, you're good. So what ends up happening, and again, we're talking spoilers. So after this fight, the Father June's kind of like, because even Young June's like, no, he can still win. And the dad's like, dude, he's done. Cut it. He's done. And after that, there's a whole episode where Sahm, is pretty much excommunicated, and he, goes into basically just into the city and starts working, almost.
One thing it's very important that we have to note: when he loses the fight, Leong has him. He's kneeling, and Leong is about to do his.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Special move. He's gonna break. He's gonna break Assam's neck. And he looks up. Remember, my Ling is Assam's blood-related sister.
Leong's
Leong isn't gonna do it unless she okays it.
Yep.
He looks up to her for permission. He's got Assam's head ready, right, for the neck crack.
Yep.
He looks up at her, and she gave him the nod. And he was just about to break Assam's neck.
And Bill comes in and shoots the gun
in the air, but busted up the whole thing.
Bill shoots the gun in the air, and that stops
his life because everybody's
So right after, just to wrap that up, then AhSam starts working just as a common worker, you know, kind of like morning. There's a morning shift and a night shift. Yep.
A toy nursed him back to health.
Yeah, a toy nurses him back to health. But during that time, it's kind of like he goes through that "woe is me" phase where he's down on himself, and you know, like to your point, he's got to get back on the horse, but he just feels terrible. He lost the fight. He doesn't want to even be seen. He doesn't even want to be part of the Hop Wei anymore. Anyway, even though they're just kind of done with him. So he goes through that whole point. But there's a point as he's working in the factory, because we haven't really even talked in depth about Leary, but Leary, again, as we mentioned, is the head of the Irish union and wants all of his workers to to be Irish, and he doesn't want the Chinese to get jobs. So there is a subplot where AhSam links up with the mayor's wife. They have a romantic relationship for a little bit, and the father, Penelope is her name, and her father owns a company where they basically, they I think it's like, is it railroad work, or it's like they own a factory or something, right?
They make steel.
Yeah, there you go. They make steel. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, Mercer Steel, right? They're the Mercers, right? So they make steel and all this, and Leary comes to Mercer and says, "Hey, hire my guys," and he does. But basically, after a while, he's like, "I can't afford them." So Leary comes and he's pissed, and he sees the Chinese guys working there, and then of course, because one of the workers happens to be AhSam, Leary spots AhSam and starts to fight with AhSam. So now we're going to see a little bit of part of that fight.
Oh, great fight. This was great.
It was awesome.
Very return of the dragon.
Yes.
Way of the dragon with the stick. Uh-oh. Look at that. Superman punch.
Yes. Superman. And this is Leary kind of, and by the way, we should say, because we're not going to show him, I don't have a lot of time to show this, or we'd be here all night. But Leary has fights. So he basically is shown as the owner of this bar in town, actually called the Banshee. Like quick trivia there. He owns the Banshee, where people come to chill after work and do whatever. But in the back, Leary also has people fight for money and bet on it, and he jumps in fights on his own because he's just a brawler. He's an ex-military guy too. It's shown. So he has fights. So he's the brawler style. So he's the one fighting here with the. Yes,
he is OP in this show until later we find out. But he is an absolute beast. He has a very strong military boxing style.
Yes.
And he's one of those guys that you don't want to fight because he can eat punches.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? There's some people you get hit and they go down. There's other people that you hit and they just eat your punches.
And they just eat. Yep.
Right.
They just
he is an absolute. He is a gangster.
Yep.
He is an intimidator. He again, someone who thinks he's doing things for the right reasons because he loves his people. And he can fight, man. This guy can freaking fight. And they do a great job. It's nothing martial arts. That's what I love about this show. If you have someone in this show who can fight and they show their style, that's their style. They're not going to try to make us believe that Leary has some martial arts background or something. No, It is one of them traditional.
He's fisticuffs, very much Irish fisticuffs, and that's what he does. And there's even a point, because we're going to talk about the fight in season 2 where they have, but this is just a teaser of what happens when Leary and AhSam first meet. But there's a point in that ending fight when AhSam and they meet for the second season, because I love the quote. And to your point, Ant, because it's very fisticuff boxing style for him, AhSam starts fighting him with his legs, and there's a point where Leary goes, "You're gonna dance? You're gonna fight?
We're gonna fight. Right?
You're gonna basically gonna stop fucking around, or you're gonna actually fight me?" So anyway, let me do that. Oh wait, is that it? Again, that's all I got out here. Okay, that's all I got here. All right, that's fine. But yeah, so that's the factory fight. Leary and him fight, and then you get, it's more of a teaser because it's not a true all out brawl. But the two of those guys actually finally meet and fight. And that's our taste of that going into which leads us into season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would add that their fighting styles go to show how like opposed they are to each other, not just in terms of like how they fight, but also like their ideals. I would go so far as to say that Leary is like the antithesis to Assam, because they both want what's best for their people, but Leary wants what's best for his people, but also at the expense of the Chinese. Whereas Assam, he didn't really care about what the Irish did. He just wants his own people to be left alone.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Everybody has motivation for what they do in the series, which is great. So again, there are no true good guys or no true bad guys. There are a few people that are just more on that manipulative path, and like I would say, the Mayor and Buckley, those guys are a lot more to me, almost on that straight evil path, with like a little bit of redeeming factors, but not so much. But everybody else, they've got their reasoning for why they do what they do. And Leary, like to your point, he's pro-Irish. He's about his people. He's just like, he fought for the country. He feels like, like he deserves to have a peace, and he wants them to have their equal share. So
he even has, like I said, I won't call it a hero's turn, but he certainly, again, he does do some things in the show that make you go, man, he's not as bad. Like there's a scene I remember distinctly where these two black guys, they come into the bar and they just want to drink. And the guys in the bar are like, no, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. And they're about to jump the guys. And Leary's like, what is this? And they're like, oh, these two black guys want to drink. And he's like,
that's right.
And they're like, oh, thank you, sir. He goes, no, don't thank me. You guys need to be smarter than
better than
walk into an Irish bar. So get your drink it, and then get out.
And get out.
He didn't do it in a nasty way. But he did. It kind of makes sense. Why did y'all go into that bar?
Yeah,
y'all know better than to go into that bar.
Like don't be up in here.
Said it. You guys know better than to come in here. So hurry up, get your drink, and then get out. Yeah. So he's a flawed anti-villain. Sort of.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But I like the character. I know we kind of. It's weird when you talk about a show like this because this is a martial arts channel. We have a martial arts channel. We want to talk about the martial arts of it all, but
the story
can't help because the story is that good, ladies and gentlemen. It's really good that we can't just talk about the martial arts because
absolutely
it's so good. It's so well done. So
and it's fiction, but it works in real history and historical context.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because again, you've got things in the past mirroring present day. So like you've got like I said, before the question. Yeah, the immigrant question, exactly. So it's like politics. Mayor work exactly. They're working on this Chinese Exclusion Act. It's like very much mirroring things of today. So it's on the political side, it is something, right? I just want to add this a little bit because I've talked about Perry Young before, but I also want to bring the last part of what he was talking about in here.
It totally did, but we saw at the beginning of season 2 where I didn't have a chance to connect with him. In the moment with the dummy, I had to come back in to say that we didn't follow up. We didn't clear the air about this, but
that's right.
I'm gonna let you back in unless you have a problem with my dominance, with my power. Right. Do we need to address that right now? He sees Assam as a very useful person, and Father June has to operate that way and use, what's people for what they're good at.
Yeah, so Perry Young brought a really cool perspective on that. And as we started talking about season 2 now, that goes back to you guys' point before. After Assam, loses the fight, goes to become a common worker, he's brought back into the Hop Wei at the very end because he's like, even Chow's character's like, dude, you're not a coolie. And that's what they call just basic workers that, you're not just a regular street guy. You're one of us. You're meant to be more. So he finally decides, okay, fine, comes back. But Perry Young there was talking about how Father June at first was like, you know what? I never really got with you and said, hey, yeah, you're back, but it's kind of under my terms because I'm still the head of this town, which is
also too that conversation. It actually it's to his detriment, and I'll tell you why. Because at the end of that conversation, he says, "I want you to keep an eye on young June." Like, keep an eye on him, keep him out of trouble, keep an eye on him. And what winds up happening is Assam starts to put into Young Jun's head the idea that this Tong should be under your control.
Right. You should be the leader.
You should be the leader.
Yep.
And it starts to build up this rift between father and son.
I would say that the idea was already in Young Jun's head, but that AhSam nurtured it.
Well, every son wants to kick his father's ass someday. I mean,
is that true?
We've had that. Like we used to play video games, and I used to destroy him. And I know he's like, someday, father, I will.
Right.
Someday I'm going to take you out with my butt. Every child wants to. Every son wants to pass his father someday. Yes. So that's understandable. But really, AhSam was fanning the flames in a smooth kind of way, and even Atoy and Chow saw it and was adding to it. You know, but what they saw was that. They felt like I think what they were seeing was that AhSam was meant to lead that Tong, you know, but that's not what he wanted.
And you got that scene where you break out the tonfa or the crutch and you put it down on him.
Yeah, that was the same thing. You know, when I said earlier that the episode 7 was the most difficult thing I've ever filmed, I would say that was second because of I had just flown in from New York to shoot that in Cape Town, so. And so like my brain was just not working. I was jet lagged and it was like physical. And then I didn't have that particular tonfa weapon, which was a dummy weapon with a softer handle. And you know, in the tonfa, the wooden one, you can actually swing quite nicely because the grip is slippery. Yep. You could swing it. With the dummy they made, there was a rubber grip. So it didn't swing. And so I was wrestling with the swinging, the lines, I'm jet lagged. And then after several takes, that rubber ripped some skin to my thumb. And so they had to constantly address the ripped skin. Is it bleeding? Is it showing on camera? But, you know, like it's great.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Yeah. So part 1 of our discussion tonight of Warrior Season 1 with my guys, Lone Wolf and Cub from the Lone Wolf and Cub Kung Fu channel. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us tonight. It was a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed, you know, just talking about the show, getting a little more in depth. Next week, we're going to do season 2. And then that following week, we're going to do season 3. And we're also going to be talking to you guys. Yes, you saw the thumbnail. We're going to be talking about a little more in depth as to why, get you some behind the scenes information on why there was never a season 4. For those that don't know about that. But I'm assuming a lot of people have been looking for that information because I have a video on the channel that people are aware of. And it's basically about season 4. And in fact, I talked with my guy, Jeff, from the Kung Fu Drive-In podcast, and he's a wealth of knowledge. He's talked to a lot more of the cast of Warrior than I have. So between him and myself, we're going to bring you guys some more information on that. So stay tuned for the next 2 weeks. We're going to give you little nuggets behind the scenes of why there was not a season 4. But let me know in the comments, guys, how you like this. Do you like this format? Do you like kind of just doing retrospectives on martial arts shows or martial arts movies? It's something that I'm thinking of branching off and doing more of on the channel. Love the support, obviously. The nooks and the bread and butter, I should say, of the channel are interviews, some obviously training videos, tutorials, and things like that. But fun stuff like this is always cool, just to do it and switch stuff up. So let me know, in the comments. Let me give some love to people that chimed in, were in the chat, and if people were in and out all night, which is great. Of course, got to give love first and foremost to my guy OG Ant and his son Danny from the Lone Wolf and Cub Kung Fu channel. Give them some love, please, people. I'm actually gonna want to share some let's see. Yes, let's get them up here. Let's share their channel really quick. So guys, if you have not checked their channel out, go ahead and do that. They are, here on YouTube, and you'll see that's just a variety of good stuff, man. These guys have martial arts movie breakdowns, actor breakdowns. They go really in depth, stuff that's beyond even my knowledge base. I'm not as learned on the old school martial arts movies as they are. So if you want just history of actors, setups, movies, specifically directors and all that, this is the place to go. These guys do a wonderful job. I'm even looking at, some of these thumbnails and things I haven't even checked out myself. A few of these videos I have checked out, but I definitely have not checked out a lot. Big old channel over there. They got like 200,000 plus subscribers. So, one day. But you guys are all really, really driving things well. I want to say thank you again, guys. The growth on the channel has been really amazing, especially with this last month. So I know you guys are into interviews with people like Michael Jai White. Trust me, I'm trying my best to get more people on. Like I said, Mark Dacascos will be coming to the channel. So if you like people of that high stature, I got him coming. All right. So stay tuned for that. Within this next week, you're going to see that interview. It was a lot of fun, talking to him. So hang out for that. And then, yeah, let me give some love to people that chimed in tonight. Got my man Bernard. What up? Tony Robles. What up? DK1103 was good. Thank you guys for being a part of this. Let me see. And you guys chimed in on what your favorite season was. A lot of votes for season 1. I get it. My personal favorite, season number 2. And next week we'll talk about why season number 2 is my favorite. Okay. I love season 2. Yeah. And there's reasons why. And the quick history on it too, guys, for those that don't know, if you've never watched the show, and by the way, if you didn't watch the show and rock with us tonight, hey, props to you. Hopefully go there. Every season now is available on Netflix, guys. We got to support martial arts shows like this. This whole show is based on writings by Bruce Lee, guys. The Kung Fu show with David Carradine that came out in the 70s was taken from the writings, Bruce's original idea, and then the networks bastardized that idea, and then they created Kung Fu. Okay. And it's not to throw shade on anybody, but that's just the facts. This is the actual retelling of the story that Bruce wanted to really tell. These are based on manuscripts and writings that Shannon Lee, his daughter, got access to, and then presented it to the powers that be, and got it in the hands of people like Jonathan Tropper, the producer, Justin Lin, who directed and produced the show. And they really pushed this out according to what Bruce's true vision was going to be. This guy, lone guy who comes to America from China, and is in search of his long lost sister. And that's pretty much as simple as it gets. So guys, thanks for rocking. This was really a lot of fun tonight. Thanks, Tony, checking in, all my guys from some people in the chat I know, some people I don't. Thank you to all the new subscribers, guys. I really appreciate all you guys. This has been such an incredible journey from beginning to end. Our 4+ years of doing this channel, I really, really, really have so much respect for people that are also in this space, and that are even aspiring people. So guys, if you're an aspiring YouTuber or creator or just a martial artist, keep on keeping on. That's my message to you tonight. I'm not going to be preachy at all. But I do want you guys to stay tuned, because so much good stuff is coming, and it's all thanks to you, all thanks to the support, all 23,000, whatever it is now, the number is, I haven't looked recently, but whatever that number is, going on, 24,000 subscribers, on my way to 25K. And maybe we'll do something special on the channel for that. I'm gonna wrap it up tonight because I know it's getting late. But thanks for rocking with us. Again, if you were here for the whole hour plus that we talked about Warrior Season 1, be here next week. We're gonna do it again. Season 2. What do you guys want to talk about next week besides Season 2? Because I'm always going to give you a little bit of extra information, martial arts news. Let me know too if this time is good. By the way, I figured 7 o'clock PST Pacific time is good. Pretty much a good time because it's still early on the West Coast, but not so late on the East Coast. So if you're 10 o'clock watching, I appreciate you for rocking with me for the hour and a half. Maybe it's just something extra to do. And always feel free to chime in. And by the way, even if you don't chime in on the chat, I've left all my lovely information down here, as you can see. So you can always get at me one of those ways. But I thank you all for checking us out. We'll do this again next week. And yeah, guys, I want you all to stay safe. I want to see you all in the next round. Of course, as I always say, keep punching, but I want to definitely remind you.
Don't just stand there, like and subscribe.
Yeah, I got to do that because that's how we grow the channel, guys. So yeah, don't be shy.
Don't just stand there, like and subscribe.
Yeah, get at us. If you don't get at me tonight, go ahead. Even if you're rewatching this, you can go ahead and hit me up on my Gmail, or I'm on X, I'm on Instagram, all that fun social media. Last couple comments here. Brothers, Tony Robles, what's good? I appreciate you as well, bro. I appreciate you guys as well. Check out Tony Robles. That's my guy. As a matter of fact, he's a pool freaking master, man. This guy, you want to know how to do 10 p.m. works for you. Great. So he's out on the East Coast. I know that. I think he's in Jersey. So yeah, we're going to do this again next week at 7 o'clock. Tony Robles, though, shout out to you, brother. I was on the Lone Wolf and Cub Kung Fu channel, and my guy OG Ant did a tournament, basically kind of like a basketball tournament style thing where we did like Final Four kind of thing where we did brackets, Sweet 16, and all of that of the greatest Kung Fu heroes of all time. Or I think did we do villains? The greatest Kung Fu villains of all time. I'm sorry. So we did greatest Kung Fu villains of all time, and Tony was on that panel. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, getting back to that really quick and give you your love, Tony. So Tony's a pool aficionado, man. This guy does trick shots. He does all these shots, and he's one of the guys who taught a lot of these guys in different productions how to do shoot these shots, how to shoot these pool shots. Check out his YouTube channel, specifically Boardwalk Empire. I'm a fan. Me and my fiance, we watched that show all 6 seasons, sat down and watched it because she had seen it, I never had. And there's a guy in there that's a pool guy, one of the mobsters, and Tony Robles was the guy who tutored the actor in there on how to set up his shots for pool. So and he's done a lot of other work behind the scenes on a lot of great shows like that. So props to you, my friend. You my guy. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up tonight, man. You guys, thanks for rocking with us, and we will see you all next week, all right? Same time, same YouTube channel, Kung Fu Chronicles, and we will do part 2 of Warrior Season 2. We'll be talking Season 2 next week. So get your requests and your questions in for that, and I'll see you then. Guys, stay safe. See you all next week. Keep punching.